that was not misogyny, people criticising Boris Johnson's hair. He did have terrible hair.
Well, they weren't necessarily criticising it. He was himself ruffling it up and making it part of his appearance. But I think the thing is that two things can be true. It can be true that there is a great deal, as Yvonne said, there's a great deal of sexism around and about, and the higher up the tree you are, the more there are some men who don't like the idea of women in positions of power and don't like the idea of women speaking out, and there's a lot of sexism against them. But it's also true that when you're Chancellor, you have to do a good job for all the people in the country on the economy, and if people are going to criticise you, you've got to answer that criticism in substance. And there's not a woman, I would say, who hasn't been subjected to sexism, who hasn't actually just bitten her lip and not said anything about it. I mean, I, over the years, have surely been subjected to loads of sexism, but I've never said, you can't say that about me because that's sexist, even where it was, because otherwise people then blame you and say, oh, you're playing the victim, you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. So those two things are true. You've got to deal with the substance, but there is sexism all around, and some men cannot bear the sight or sound of a woman in authority, and it triggers them to be very hostile, particularly on social media.